Yeah, there we go. Well, hello. How are you all doing today? Yes, welcome to today's broadcast of SARE Nutritional Therapy. That stands for Sugar Addiction is Real. So it's SAIRNT. I'm your host, Teresa T.L. Matthew. I am the founder of Some Foods, the maker of Some Sweet. And I say that's the most spectacular sweetener that there is on the market. I am also a nutritional therapist, and the name of my practice is SARE Nutritional Therapy. Again, that is Sugar Addiction is Real. So we are streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And you can catch us on all of those apps. And we're also streaming live here on Haps. So that is Haps at SAIRNT. That is Instagram at Some Sweet Foods, YouTube at SAIRNT, Twitter at Some Sweet Foods, and Facebook at SAIRNT. Yes. I know it's a little mixed bag there, but that's kind of how I have those things set up. So it stands for Sugar Addiction is Real. Yes, and you can also, this will be available on a podcast, as a podcast on all of your favorite podcast networks, wherever you get your podcasts from, your favorite podcast channel. So, but today we do have a guest with us today. I want to just finish up with the housekeeping here. This month is of November is National Diabetes Awareness Month. So I just want to make you aware that if you think that you might have, or if you don't know what your risks are for diabetes, then you should go over to the American Diabetes Association, to their website. They do have a quiz over there that will help you to give you information on your risk assessment of what, so that is ADA, the American Diabetes Association. So you can get an assessment of your risk. So you can do that. If you want to get a hold of the sweetener, Some Sweet, you can go over to that website, which is SUMSWEET.com. Yes. So this broadcast, as you know, is about health, all things health and wellness, from nutrition, fitness, weight management, to everything in between. And we have a special guest with us today that the name of our guest is Becky Whitehead. And she is a minister and certified health coach. So she will be joining us. So I'm going to go ahead and get that over to her, invite over to her, and get her on the system here. And might have to use a little two things here to let her know that she has been invited. I'm still getting used to this platform. I'm still getting used to how it does things. It's not the way that it was, but I'm trying, and I'm hanging in there with this platform. So let's see. I'm letting her know. And let's see if she's gotten it. There she is. She's backstage and ready to join us. All right. So without further ado, I want you all to just put your hands together and welcome our special guest, Becky Whitehead. She'll be joining us. And I hope the screens stay positive. Yay! Hello.
How you doing? It's good to be here.
I'm doing great. There you go. There you are. Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. This is new technology for me too, so it was like, oh.
Yes, they even updated it just last week, which sent me into a little tizzy because I'm not used to it. So all of this is new. So I'm figuring out how to do all this. I can't get a hold of all of the bits and pieces that I had, and so now I just have to kind of make do and just wait for them to build it back to where it was, with the addition of the improvements that they believe that they have made. I haven't discovered them yet, but
It's one of those things. It's either our biggest curse or our biggest blessing. So
exactly,
sometimes it's both
exactly,
at the same time.
exactly. Yes. So, Becky, tell us about yourself. Tell your health story, your health journey, and about your business. So we'll just start with your health story.
Well, my health story, it's fun to tell because it's one of those stories that, had I not lived it, I probably wouldn't have believed it.
Okay.
So, yeah, about this time
Yes.
last year, I was 85 pounds heavier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my health was, I was tanking. I was on 3 diabetic medications and still my blood sugar was not under control.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a bunch of medications for asthma and high cholesterol and all kinds of things. And
Okay.
I came to a point where it's like, I can't live like this.
Right.
And I was facing the fact that this past spring I was going to turn 65 years old and going to go on Medicare.
Okay.
Medicare doesn't pay for a lot of the medications I was on.
Mm-hmm.
So what I realized was I either need to make some changes. I need to be ready to put out of my pocket over $500 a month for medications
Wow.
and still not feel good.
Yes.
So I started doing a little research around and looking at different programs, and I tried one and I lost a little weight, but within just maybe a month or so, I hit a plateau and didn't do much with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I had some friends on Facebook who had lost, like, between the two of them, they had lost 150 some odd pounds.
Wonderful.
And so
Yes.
I reached out. I said, "Say, what are you doing? Tell me about it."
Mm-hmm.
And they shared their story. They shared their journey. And I started doing this particular program in February of 2021.
Okay.
So in that time frame, I have dropped all that weight. I am off of all my diabetic medications. My
Wow.
yeah, isn't it great? My
Yes.
physician is like, all the rest of my patients are coming in here with the COVID-20 or the COVID-30. You've coming in here a whole new woman, and you're
Yeah.
healthier than I've ever seen you.
Fantastic.
I'm off of all my medications. Life is great. I just got back from spending a week down around Disney World and walked like 40 miles in a week. And
Yes.
before this would have happened, I would have been lucky to walk a half a mile.
All
So
right.
I feel good. I have more energy than I've had since I was probably in my 20s. So
Wonderful.
life is good. I got
Yes.
so excited about the program that I thought, it's like, as a minister, we tend to, the mind, but we tend to the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, how wonderful would it be to actually bring the full trilogy in of working with mind, body, and spirit?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I became a coach for this program in order to support people in getting healthy,
Mm-hmm.
feeling better, and, living out the why they want to be healthy and
Okay.
stepping fully into the beauty of who they're here to be and having that encouragement and having a program that is very easy to do. And I coach. Right now I
Okay.
have, I think it's about 41 clients,
Okay.
and they're all just loving life and having great success. So,
That's fantastic. That's
oh,
fantastic. So,
a little
how
bit.
long how long had you been had diabetes? How long had that happened for you?
Probably for about 12 years.
Okay. Okay.
And
Was
and
it
I have dealt with weight issues all my life and
okay?
the typical sugar addiction,
Yeah.
just like everybody else and they say that that is the worst addiction you can have, that the sugar addiction is one of the hardest ones to break.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And it is. I mean, for me, I mean, it took me years, 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 and I had to use something to step me down, to get off of it. But, thankfully, no more sugar. I don't even, I might have a sweet tooth, but something in my mind that even with the sweet tooth says to me, you just want something sweet, but you definitely don't want sugar. And so I can curb my sweet tooth with just a little something sweet, just a little something that with I use my some sweet, and that's it. And I don't have to have anything sweet, or I just go get a piece of fruit,
mhm.
and just use that. And but I don't have to just run toward. the candy bars, excuse me, the candy bars and the cookies and cakes and all of that, which never seemed to satisfy the sweet tooth and
Oh,
only
no,
just egged
it
it on
doesn't.
even more. Yeah,
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of that to get
yeah.
you through for a few minutes, but then it gets back bigger and badder than it was before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You mentioned that the program that you work for, you have 41 clients. So you said your friends introduced you to that program. So
right.
tell us about the thing that maybe that you did prior to that, maybe, that got you down a few pounds and then it kind of plateaued on you there. And then this other program took you the rest of the way. And you know what? Feel free. You can, I don't know. Well, you can, if it's okay, you can name the program. I mean,
Well, okay, so I would rather not name the program that I'm coaching, but I can
okay.
send people to my so as we're talking, I'll share my website's name, and I'm gonna be offering free health assessments to
Oh,
see if this
great.
is something that would work for anyone that, you know, that wants to do it, just to see.
Okay.
There's no obligation, so we'll do that. The program that I started with was a program, metabolic research centers, and it
Okay.
was a great program, but what I found was I was having to cook 3 meals a day and then
Ooh.
do all these supplements in between and take hands full of different supplements, of pills,
Hmm.
and I have a busy life.
Right.
Cooking 3 meals a day just, I could do it, but it was like I felt like all I was doing was focusing on cooking,
Right.
you know? So, the other piece was I wondered if I was gonna get to the point to where taking those handful of supplements were gonna be required for me to
Hmm.
maintain.
Okay.
And so I began to question whether this was a sustainable program.
Okay. Hmm.
And then when I hit that plateau, and I was on that plateau for about 2 months, and I
Okay.
thought, this isn't okay. So
Yeah.
when I changed over to this new program, and it's a transformational life program, actually. What it is it works with you one healthy habit at a time to get you
Mm.
to get you
Very good.
living. I eat 6 times a day. I eat every
Okay.
2 to 3 hours, but I only have to cook 1 meal a day,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
don't take any supplements with it. The foods that I eat are filled with there's 26 nutrients, vitamins, and probiotics in everything that I eat. I eat to fuel my body
Yes.
instead of eating for social things or eating just because it's a habit or whatever. So
Hmm.
that's what makes a big difference. But if you have folks that want to talk to me about it, they can reach out to me. Heartcenteredliving.org is the
Okay.
website. And there's a link on there that they can schedule a health assessment. And like I said, it would be us chit chatting, finding out what they want, what their heart's desire is, what their habits are, and
Okay.
seeing if we have something that would work for them to get them into that healthy lifestyle.
Yes, because everything, I always tell people that it's not a one size fit all. So,
No,
you have to find that thing that works for you. And then that's what you have to know yourself, know your body, and find what works for you. And when you find that, then you'll start to reach the levels of success that you want. You can't look at somebody else and say that is this, is that, is that. And even when you said your friends recommended the program to you, I bet there's some differences between what they did in the program than what you do in the program.
absolutely, absolutely. And the cool thing is we have, you have your own personal coach. So I coach all my people myself. We have a community that is there to support, and we have an education program that goes along with it to help anchor these ideas. And you work for what works for you. The main thing
Right.
we say is don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
are the focus of your health. So,
Right, right. So because we're all individuals. And so that's what I had. Like I had a friend, she went on like plant-based. She went plant-based and I was like, "Ooh, that is great." I'm looking at her success and I'm like, but I already know that's not gonna work for me. I'm
so
already done. My body is already saying, hey, there's sugar in the carrot, there's sugar in there, finding every bit of sugar and converting it, which is what it's supposed to do. But once it converts it, it can't do anything with it because I was already insulin resistant. So that
mhm,
wasn't gonna work
mhm,
for me. Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
so So, that's the other thing is one of the reasons we do these assessments is there are actually 11 different programs that I coach that are all under this umbrella because
Okay.
everybody is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to offer somebody a solution that's going to work with them
Exactly.
because we're not all the same.
Right.
We have different likes, different dislikes. We have some people have food sensitivities. I have some clients that are vegetarian. I have some clients that are, they've done keto and all this other. And so or some clients that are on certain medications that we have to steer them clear of some foods. So
Right.
it's very customizable.
Yes,
So
and
that
that's what everybody should be looking for. So, really quickly, I want to ask you. So, you said you were diabetic for 12 years.
mhm.
Tell us about how did you find out that you were actually diabetic? Because I'm finding that a lot of people are finding out by surprise. Um, did that? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, well, so I had a lot of the symptoms. There was the thirst, there was the weight gain, and things
Hmm.
just, weren't going well. And I was tired, low energy. And I've always been pretty good about having physicals. And
Okay.
so I watched through the course of the years my A1C going up and up and up. And
Okay.
it's like, well, I'll take care of it with my diet. Well, we know how that goes. So,
Yeah.
back in earlier days, so it kept getting worse and worse, and I wasn't living good habits. I
Hmm.
wasn't living healthy habits, and so it got out of control. And then what wound up happening too that didn't help, I wound up having to have a knee replacement. And before the knee replacement, they gave me a steroidal injection in the knee.
Oh. Okay.
Steroids will trip up your blood sugar.
Yes.
And so it sent me over the top.
Wow.
And I never was able to quite get it back under control until, well, probably until within the last 6 months.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it was a happy day when I said, "So what happens now if I am filling out a form and it says, 'Are you diabetic?'" She goes, "Nope, you're not." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yay!
She goes, "You're not
Yay!
diabetic. You have a history of some diabetic episodes, but you are no longer diabetic."
That's fantastic. See, that's what
So,
I could. That's what I just always say that this is reversible. Type 2 diabetes, it is reversible. It is possible to reverse it with diet, the right diet, exercise, and all of that. But also that when you getting it, as you acquire it, it's something that you acquire.
it
As you
is.
acquire it, the different ways that people find out or that end up with that diagnosis is like it's really amazing because you said a steroid injection knocked you over the top.
Right.
So you were close and it just sent you right on over.
It did.
And that, and how many people are out there that are on steroids that they use for their lungs. People who have asthma, they use different
Right.
type of steroids for that. Any other type of physical ailment or something that you have in your body, muscular, they'll give
Mm.
you a steroid for that.
You get a
And
rash, they'll give you a lot of times if you get a real bad case of like poison ivy or something,
right.
they'll give you a steroid dose pack in order
Yes.
to get that allergic reaction under control. Yeah, all
Yes.
sorts of times. And and it's interesting how many times we deal with the side effects of a
Hmm.
treatment,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So if we can get ourselves healthy
Hmm.
into a point where we don't have to have the treatments, number 1,
Exactly.
then we're taking some more of those risks out of the mix.
Yes, exactly, exactly. That's so fantastic because I mean, this is good news for everyone that's out there that it's reversible. So, yet someone else who has done this, who has reversed the type 2 diabetes, living their best life right now after the diagnosis.
Mhm.
And I mean, this is what people need to hear. This is what they need to know because that was that I watch people suffer with diabetes and always in my mind is grandma didn't have to lose a limb,
Oh,
you didn't have to suffer with the certain things that you suffered with. You didn't have to if you just could cut out some of the things that's causing problems. And we need to know, we don't know just the little things. that's bringing this on, that's egging this on, that's helping it to stay there. And so this is really good information. So, anything else you want to share with us about what it is that you're doing and how you're helping people?
You know, it's walking beside people on the journey. You know,
Hmm.
we do so much in our lives alone, and it's so great to have somebody that will walk beside you and answer your questions, and especially somebody who's gone through it themselves. And
Right,
so I take great joy in being able to see people have a different life, actually
right.
move into living their best life.
Yes.
Um, you know, I've got stories I could share. You know, we could be here forever, but of the way that people have changed their lives. And so, once again, I just encourage if you've got some folks that are with us or folks that watch this later that have an interest in just having a conversation. Like I said, there's no commitment required, but just reach out to me. And once again, that's heartcenteredliving.org, and find myself on there. And then there's a link to tap to schedule a free health assessment. And it's
Okay.
just, we would probably do it via that we would do it via Zoom link. It's painless. Take a little time just to find out what your options are about getting healthy.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Everybody, say that again for me. That's heart
Heartcenteredliving.org.
cent-
It's actually a nonprofit.
heartcenteredliving.org. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of
Fantastic.
the desires that I have, and I'm hoping eventually I'm working on creating a foundation that will help those that are in situations that can't afford the healthy
Hmm.
food, things like that, to be able to start supporting and maybe creating some scholarships, some food scholarships and some program
Okay.
scholarships for those individuals.
Oh, that's
So
great.
in time, that'll be something that I'll have available, and maybe I'll reach out, we can reach out and reconnect when that's available and help some folks.
Yes, that would be great. That's great. So, yes, somebody just posted the link in the chat, heartcenteredliving.org.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes, and that's what I mean, that's what we absolutely we need things like that. And I thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, that is phenomenal. 85 pounds. That's in less than a year? Is this
And
what
let
we're in
yeah,
less than a year? My
absolutely.
goodness. Listen here, people.
This is the real deal.
Y- Y'all need to check her out and see what she's doing over there, because in less 85 pounds in less than a year, that's fantastic. And was it just mostly based on diet, or was it diet and exercise
No,
combination?
actually, we don't recommend that people exercise when they first get on the program.
Oh my goodness. Did y'all
So
hear that?
it was
You don't have
eating
to
healthy
exercise?
and drinking. No, we got to get people drinking a lot of water because water is one of the biggest gifts we can give ourselves.
There we go.
I
There we
know, and I
go.
got mine
I
right here
always
too.
tell them, drink your water. You need 4 of
Yeah,
these a day. That'll give you your 64 ounces. And if you can do more, do
right.
more.
That's it. That's it. So,
Yes. Yes.
thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm like, I'm blown away. She said you start this without having to exercise, everybody. So no excuses. This is all diet based. And I've always taught that, that you don't have to exercise. All of those exercise programs have a diet component, but
Right.
diet doesn't have an exercise component.
Right. And the piece is, let's get that word diet as far as something that we're doing out of our minds and look
Exactly.
at the fact that we're doing a lifestyle change. We're
Yes.
creating new habits,
Yes.
and because we're going to be successful with this.
Yes. And like I tell people, I say, hey, we're not, I even don't even use weight loss. I use fat loss, because we don't have a problem with muscle. We don't have a problem
Mhm.
with water. What we have a problem with is the fat. And let's just call it what it is. So we're on a fat loss journey. Put the focus right there.
Yep.
And that's what
And
we
what
do.
I tell people is I've released 85 pounds because I didn't lose it. Because when I lose something, I tend to want to go find it.
Right. She said she released it.
I released it. It's gone.
That is so great. That is so wonderful. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, everyone. If you go check her out at heartcenteredliving.org, get a free assessment. It's free, costs nothing. Just
That's
learn
it.
something. And I mean, that is so phenomenal. Thank you so, so, so
And
much.
thank you. And thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you. And everybody, again, like I said, if you want to get a hold of some sweet, that's what I use. That personally, that worked for me, kick my sugar addiction. And you can get it at sumsweet.com. Check out Becky at heartcenterliving.org. And until next time, this has been great. Peace and blessings. Bye bye.
Bye bye.